You have been really involved in the Jariah Johnson case, where he was staying with a babysitter, he was left alone with her daughter, and was attacked by dogs. This past weekend, we saw a similar situation happen again, and 2 little girls are in the hospital because they were put in a situation like that. What does that say to you about the issue of dangerous dogs in San Antonio, that we've seen 2 incidents like this so close together?
Well, it was heartbreaking to see what had happened this weekend, and the fact that it involved 2 little ones. You know, in light of Jariah Johnson's case, you think that your awareness of these vicious dogs would be heightened, and you would, especially with children, be extra cautious. And now we have a situation where a dog owner had this vicious dog exposed to children, and that was extremely difficult to hear, especially even after City Council had made this huge impact on the guidelines of owning a vicious dog. I sat in that and I was just elated. I wanted to jump out of my chair when I saw them all agreeing with the fact that fines needed to be harsher, punishment needed to be harsher if the owners of these vicious dogs did not comply with the guidelines. And I was just overjoyed for that move. But now to see this happen, this is just heartbreaking, and I'm hoping that these little girls make it through.
What is so important for people to remember about the families of the dog attack victims as we go through these incidents? There are citations for the dog owner, there are citations for the babysitter, but what about those families?
You know, for the family, my heart is really moved for them, because they could not have predicted this. They didn't know that their children were going to be exposed. They had no idea. And I know the backlash, because I've seen it happen even in Jariah Johnson's case. Listen, this is not anything that anyone prepares for, and you're trusting someone to take care of your child. And I am just really praying for them as well, because they're sitting beside a hospital bed of a child who's been so greatly injured that they could not have even predicted would happen.
With the case of Jariah Johnson, obviously there are some differences in the case. What do you see as the similarities here that we'll see moving forward?
Yeah, the similarities are of the parents trusting that babysitter to do what they said they were going to do. In Jariah Johnson's case, that babysitter left her daughter to take care of Jariah without even contacting the parents to say, hey, would you mind if I did this? She just made that decision to do it and left that child in a dangerous situation when they trusted the babysitter herself. And I believe in this same situation, there's a lot of trust that this person, this adult, says that they're going to take care of these children, and that trust is given. And I'm sure that those families wish they could take it all back, that they could just erase this past weekend. Unfortunately, and going forward, I think that more awareness is going to have to be brought to light. I think the city is moving in the right direction, and I think the registry for vicious dogs needs to be applied here and looked at by anybody who is asking another adult to take care of their child. I think now that's a question we have to start asking. Are there any dogs in that home or in the vicinity that might be able to harm my child?
Anything else you want to add?
I think a lot of understanding needs to go to these parents, because if you put yourself in that situation, when you trust someone who says they're going to take care of your children, and you know that person, that's just a whole lot of trust that's being put there. And for them to be so isolated, saying that they're bad parents, that they shouldn't have done that, I think that's a horrible direction that we're going. And I think all of our efforts need to be brought into praying for these children's, just for them to get through this, praying for them to make it through and hopefully get home for the holidays. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome, hon.